Choosing a lane. If the rotary has a single lane, you must enter from the right lane of the road you are coming from. You must exit onto the right lane of the road you intend to travel on. So it just means stay to the right all the time. If the rotary has multiple lanes, look for signals to help you choose the proper lane. Or look for signs, sorry. If there are no signs, you should do the following. For a quarter turn, or to continue straight ahead, enter the rotary from the right lane. Stay in that lane and exit onto the right lane. For a three-quarter turn or a U-turn, enter the rotary from the left lane. Travel through the middle or inner lane. Exit onto the right lane. If coming from a road with a single lane, you should stay in the right lane for the entire turn. That's kind of confusing, but in a multiple lane rotary, there may be traffic on both sides of your vehicle. Do not attempt to move out of your lane until it is safe to do so. If you miss your exit, don't get upset. Check the traffic around you. If it is safe to do so, go around again and position your vehicle to properly exit safely on the rotary. Do not stop in the rotary. So that's sort of an interesting point, is when you're going around a rotary,
Yeah.
if you miss your exit, like, oh, I meant to go that way, you can just keep going around and come back again.
Yeah.
Roundabouts. I'm not sure what's different between a roundabout and a rotary. Oh, it's okay. I see. It's got stops at it. Roundabouts are similar to rotaries. They are generally much smaller than rotaries and have a smaller central barrier, like this here. Most roundabouts have yield lines on the pavement and crosswalks for pedestrians. Roundabouts are used on busy streets, and their small size requires vehicles to reduce speed to 25 miles per hour or less. I can see that being a question on a test. What's the speed on a roundabout?
25
miles per hour. When entering a roundabout, you should follow the same rules as for a rotary. Slow speeds in roundabouts make them safe for bicyclists. If your roundabout has more than one lane, choose your lane in the same way you would on a rotary. So, rules for passing. In general, the law requires you to drive on the right side of the road. When passing is allowed, you should pass on the left. Passing on the right is allowed only in certain situations. You should pass a pedestrian, bicycle, or motor vehicle only when it is necessary and safe to do so. You may not exceed the speed limit when passing. If you have any doubt, do not pass. Never use a breakdown lane, the shoulder of the road, or a sidewalk for passing another vehicle.
What?
So you shouldn't drive up on the sidewalk to pass a vehicle.
No, definitely not.
Crazy, isn't it? So, but when you pass, you should always pass. If there's a car you want to go by, you shouldn't pass it on the right-hand side. You should pass it on the left, which is kind of obvious. Passing on the left. On a multi-lane roadway with several lanes in one direction, like a highway or Route 1, you must use the middle and left lanes for passing. A broken yellow line on a two-way road allows you to cross over into the oncoming lane temporarily to pass the vehicle. Remember how we talked about that? If, like, on Route 120, when there's a dash line, then that means you can pass on that. So that's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So kind of talking about right here. So it says the following steps go with the diagram on the right. So this is telling all about passing, how to pass. So we'll go over this. Keep a safe distance between you and the vehicle you want to pass. Check the passing lane to make sure it is clear. If you are crossing a broken yellow line to pass, you must be able to see clearly at least 400 feet in front of you. Check your mirror and your blind spot. So this is probably something they could quiz you on. If you want to pass, make sure you can see at least 400 feet ahead. That sounds like the kind of thing they would ask a question on. How far ahead do you have to see if you want to pass somebody?
400
feet. Yep. Signal left and gradually move into the passing lane. So they're signaling left. Maintain your speed until safely past the other vehicle. Then signal right again. So you go out here and you go, and then you keep your speed up. And then when you get farther enough past the car, then you put on your blinker and you go right back in front of them. It says make sure there is enough distance between you and the other vehicle before moving back into the right lane. Wait at least until you see the vehicle's headlights in your mirror. You must return to the right lane before any oncoming vehicle comes within 200 feet of you. So when you're out in this lane, you have to get into this lane before if there's a car coming from this direction. You have to get back over here before you get within 200 feet of the oncoming car.
What'd you say again?
Okay, so if you're doing this pass thing,
Yeah.
and there's a car coming at you in the other direction, right? You have to make sure that you don't get any closer than 200 feet to that car that's coming in this direction, because you don't want to get in a crash, right? So that's another thing that I'd ask you. You have to be your oncoming vehicle. You have to get out of this passing lane if a vehicle is within 200 feet of you. So what you might do is if a car is coming, you might have to slow down and go. You wouldn't go backwards, but this car would go ahead, and then you would just slow down and then pull back in. Passing on the right. Passing on the right is only allowed in certain circumstances. It can only be done when the road is clear and wide enough for 2 or more lines of motor vehicles. You can pass on the right in the following circumstances. The vehicle you are passing is making or about to make a left turn. You are driving on a one-way street. You are driving on a road where traffic moves in one direction, such as a multiple lane highway. So if you're driving on Route 95 where there's a bunch of cars going in the same direction, then it's okay to pass on the right.
What'd you say?
So like if you're driving on a highway and there's like 3 lanes of traffic that are all going in the same direction, it's okay to go by if someone's going slow in the middle lane. It's okay to pass them on the right.
Okay.
So on a highway you can pass someone on the right, but on a regular road, you can't pass on the right. So if you are being passed by another vehicle, you must slow down and stay to the right. Allow the other driver to pass safely. Do not speed. The move over law requires that if you are approaching a stationary emergency vehicle and it's displaying its flashing lights, so a fire truck or a police car, you must proceed with caution and reduce your speed to that of a reasonable and safe speed for the road conditions. If you're on a highway with at least 4 lanes, at least 2 of which allow travel in the same direction you are heading, yield to the right of way by safely moving over to a lane that is not next to the lane the emergency highway or recovery vehicle is occupying. In other words, leave an open lane between your vehicle and a stopped emergency vehicle. So that makes sense. If moving over is impractical, you must still proceed with caution and reduce your speed to that of reasonable and safe speed for the road conditions. Basically, it means if there's a car in the road, a police car stopped, you're supposed to move over if you can, and don't go next to them. Yeah, or a fire truck. Yeah. That makes sense, right? You're driving down the road. Would you drive right next to the police car, right next to the? No, you'd move over as far as you could when you drove by, and you drove by slowly. Yeah. Road respect, sharing the road. The Highway Safety Bureau has a program called Road Respect, Tame the Rage. It is enforced by the RMV and the Massachusetts State Police. The idea is that a little courtesy will not kill you and will go a long way towards increasing safety on our roads. We ask that you show respect to people who share the roadway with you. Do not let your anger get the best of you when someone else drives irresponsibly. How can you identify aggressive drivers? Aggressive drivers often do the following: cut people off, exceed the speed limit, switch lanes without signaling, tailgate. Do you know what tailgate means? It means drive really close to your butt. Like drive really close to the back of your car. Run red lights. So that means go through a light that's red. Prevent other motorists from passing them. What can you do when confronted by an aggressive driver? Attempt to get out of his or her way. Do not challenge that person. Avoid eye contact. Ignore rude gestures. Wear your safety belt. It will keep you in control of your vehicle and protect you in a crash. Do not become an aggressive driver. Control your anger and do not let the situation get worse. Do not question how aggressive the other driver may be. If you have a cell phone, call the state police at 911 to report the dangerous driver. State police highway patrols are State police patrol highways and unmarked vehicles. They look for aggressive drivers who put everyone in danger. If you are arrested for aggressive driving, the registry may review your case. The registry can suspend your license, that means take away your license, and registration before a court date if you are a threat to public safety. Be a safe driver. Be courteous and always treat other drivers as you would like to be treated. As the driver of a passenger car, van, small truck, or motorcycle, you must constantly share the roadway with other people and other vehicles. So we'll stop here at school buses, okay?